We are now in the corporate oligarchy that is the Trump administration. A White House press release that was sent out to reporters yesterday had a paragraph in it that was identical, word for word, to a paragraph in an ExxonMobil press release published just an hour before. The White House release is called President Trump Congratulates ExxonMobil for Job-Creating Investment Program, and it was cheerleading ExxonMobil for new oil refining, which we should be actually criticizing, for chemical manufacturing developments along the coasts of Louisiana and Texas, which we should actually be really, really concerned about. And the White House release called President Trump Congratulates ExxonMobil for Job Creating Investment Program was different only by one word from what ExxonMobil put out. Okay, so there was a tweet that was sent out yesterday by Christopher Ingram, who pointed out the similarities between the Trump press release and the Trump statement and the ExxonMobil press release. Let's look more closely at the text. And as you'll see here, the only difference is the word expansion. And on top, you see the statement from Trump. ExxonMobil is strategically investing in new refining and chemical manufacturing projects in the United States Gulf Coast region to expand its manufacturing and export capacity. The company's Growing the Gulf program consists of 11 major chemical, refining, lubricant, and liquefied natural gas projects at proposed new and existing facilities along the Texas and Louisiana coasts. Investments began in 2013 and are expected to continue through at least 2022. I won't reread the one from ExxonMobil because it differs by only one word. They're not even trying, are they? Or I guess they are trying, and they're actively succeeding in building a kleptocracy. Trump's Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, of course, the former CEO of ExxonMobil. It reminds me of when Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt received a letter from an oil and gas company which was opposed to the federal effort to limit methane gas leaking from drilling operations. And he copy and pasted that onto his own letterhead and sent it to the EPA. He now is the administrator of the EPA, by the way. Here's the main point here, okay? Donald Trump ran his campaign as an outsider, right? Not part of the establishment, against corruption, against special interest, draining the swamp, all that stuff. And he accused his opponent of being corrupt because of lobbyists and Wall Street, and he'd be really, really different. And now his administration is not figuratively, but literally copying and pasting propaganda from ExxonMobil, filling his cabinet and advisor roles with Goldman Sachs people. ExxonMobil has become a voice of the administration in the literal sense. They are just repeating propaganda from ExxonMobil, a company that knew for decades about the harmful effects of their activities to the climate and covered up that data. That now has become the official word of the Trump administration.
And in another angle here, too, it's another example of Donald Trump taking credit for something that Barack Obama did, because this investment started in 2013. And you could say now they're amping it up. Really, they shouldn't be doing that because we should be looking towards alternative forms of energy. I don't think a Democratic president would have allowed them to make this investment even more money over a longer period of time.
You're probably right. And some portion of voters were, of course, concerned that Hillary Clinton was too cozy with Wall Street because they paid her to give speeches. It's actually laughable now to say, oh, we should have been so worried about Hillary's speeches. Trump's connections to Wall Street, fossil fuel companies, and all sorts of special interests are hilariously overshadowing the concerns about Hillary's speeches, but it won't matter. Because if you survey Trump supporters, more than half think that millions voted illegally for Hillary Clinton. 2/3 believe that unemployment went up under President Obama, when the reality is it decreased around 50%. Nearly 3/4 of Trump supporters believe that people protesting Trump after the election were paid by George Soros. And more than half of Trump supporters question whether President Obama was even born in the United States. Copy-pasted language from ExxonMobil isn't going to mean much to most Trumpists. And there's a case to be made that the entire Trump-Russia thing, whatever it is, right, has oil, Russia, and ExxonMobil at its root. When you look at the number one export of Russia, when you look at the geopolitical relationships related to oil that Russia would love to be increasingly involved in, more and more people, Pat, have been emailing me saying, David, you know, if you really want to understand Trump-Russia, look at ExxonMobil and look at fossil fuels. And there's a very interesting case to be made there.